Alright guys, just hanging out at home and got my buddy with me and got some really kind of sad news the other day that a buddy of mine who I've known for a long time has been diagnosed with emphysema. And he doesn't smoke anymore, but he used to smoke a ton and all kinds of different stuff. And you know, he's not much older than I am. And so it's hard to see, it's hard to imagine that and to be able to fathom that. And especially having two little kids, it's like, how do you get them to be aware of the dangers and aware of what can happen when their friends say, hey, it's not a big deal, just try this, it doesn't matter, it's just one. And like I say, you know, you say don't smoke, don't do this, don't do that, and they're going to do whatever they want to do. They don't really get it. And so I found this really cool experiment, and it kind of shows just how much junk there is in a cigarette. I am not judging smokers, I'm not saying anything against them or anything like that. Everybody has their issues that they struggle with. Everybody has their addictions to one thing or another. And so obviously if you smoke, it is not the best thing, and I'm not here to judge anybody or anything like that. I've made my share of dumb choices, and I still do on a daily basis. You know, I don't respect God's temple that I should. And so not my place to judge on that. But if it is something that you're struggling with and something you need help with, please, by all means, reach out. We are more than happy to try and find you some help, give you some ideas, see what we can do. I think the key thing is when you have any type of addiction, there's an addiction there for a reason. And so if you just say, hey, I'm going to quit, I'm going to stop doing this, it doesn't always work. And the reason behind that is that you have to trade off that addiction for another addiction. And so if you trade that off for being addicted to Christ and being addicted to doing the things that you're supposed to do and the things that He calls you to do, a lot of times you're more successful. And so there's a lot of groups that we'll try to get people help and overcome the addiction and using a faith-based system. So if that's something you guys are interested in, by all means, reach out. I'm more than happy to try to find some way to help out or find some information for you. Absolutely anything we can do to help. We are absolutely here to help you guys, to serve you guys, and we are blessed to be a blessing to you. Alright, so the construction on this is pretty easy. Basically just had to build a gravity bong. Not that I ever know what that is, but I'm just going to see how this works. Alright, so less than one whole cigarette, and that was all the junk that came out of it with the smoke. What do you think about that?
That's nasty. I don't think I ever want to smoke after I smell that.
Yeah?
Like, then you can imagine all the
Smell
cigarettes that people put. Oh, I don't know if that's
Smell it.
I don't know.
Just see what it smells like.
It smells horrible.
Yeah?
That's what people's breath smells when I smoke.
You think it's a good idea to put all that junk in your lungs?
No.
No? You sure?
Yes.
Yeah?
No.
So that was less than one, right?
Yes.
In a pack of cigarettes, there's 20. So if you had a whole pack, what do you think your lungs would look like?
Like that. Look terrible.
Yeah. Oh! Alright guys, going to show off our new little buddy here. This is our little snapping turtle, so I named him Bowser, of course, like I said a few weeks ago. And he is getting big, and he is eating and happy and healthy, which is always awesome to see. He is definitely a cutie, and one we are looking forward to working with. These guys are the common snapping turtle, so they don't get as big as the alligator snapping turtles, but they do get to be a good size. Average length is about 1.5 feet across, which is a good size, and they'll hit 20 to 30 pounds, or our records, or a lot of them will get bigger, the big males especially, sometimes can hit 50, 60 pounds in captivity, but they average about 30 to 40 pounds, so they are definitely a good sized turtle. These guys are pretty hardy. They are found anywhere from southern, kind of southeastern Canada, all the way down through Florida, and all across America, so these are super hardy. They are more tropical, they do enjoy the heat, but they can obviously make do with whatever they have. These guys are known kind of for their temperament, not the best in the world. This guy is tiny right now, and they're good when they're little. Once you get above about 3 or 4 inches, they seem to develop that typical attitude. And so he is just enjoying life right now and taking it easy. Has no idea what he's in store for once he gets moved out into the big pond. But he's happy now, so that's kind of cool. Having a little tank to grow him up and get him bigger before we move him out with Cayman and the other turtles. He definitely hold his own against the turtles. These guys are a little bit different than most aquatic turtles. They don't spend a lot of time basking. They spend pretty much the majority of their lives in the water. And so they will stay in there. Every once in a while they'll come up and kind of get fresh air, but they don't really get out and bask. He has a big basking setup in there and plenty of room up under the heat light to go, but they just don't ever use it. It's kind of part of how they are. So they are very, very cool though. They are not the easiest to handle. Like I said, when they get a little bit bigger, a lot of people try and do stuff like pick them up by the tail, and it actually can break their back. So it's all attached to their vertebrae and all down their spine. So it's not the best way to move them around. But these guys are super, super cool. We're looking forward to watching him grow and get massive and get him hopefully where he can take food from us, at least not be scared of us, and know that we are here to be his buddy and help him out.
I know you're gonna do it. Cookies.
Alright guys, hope you're all doing well and having an awesome week so far. Tonight's reading is from Luke, and this is one that I've read before and just never really understood what it meant, and so I got some clarity on it this week doing a Bible study. We're just going to keep going through Luke and see what we can find out, and there's just lots of good stuff in it. And Luke, this is chapter 4, and this is starts in 5 through 7, so 5, 6, and 7 for those of you who are not good with math. And I've never understood this before. This is when Jesus is being tempted by Satan. And so this is obviously Satan talking to Jesus, trying to tempt him. And he says, "The devil led him up to a high place and showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world. And he said to him, I will give you all of their authority, all the splendor, for it has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want to. So if you worship me, it will all be yours." I've never understood that. Like, of all the people in the world to try to give authority to try to bribe, and to try to persuade, why would you do that to the Son of God? Like, Satan knows who he is. And so I've never understood that. I never understood why he thought he could get away with it, because obviously he's, God in flesh. He knows everything, and he's going to get everything. And what came up this week in studying this is that it's not that he's offering everything to him. It's offering to it right now. And he says, all you have to do is bow down and it can all be yours. And it's in an instant. He's promised everything. He is God in flesh. It doesn't get any better than that. And Satan is saying, you know what, if you bow down, you can have it all, and you can have it all right now. So the temptation isn't to have everything. The temptation is to have it right now instead of having to wait, instead of having to go through everything. And that happens to us so much in our own lives. We should be waiting. We should be patient. God says, I will give you everything, but you have to wait. And Satan says, hey, why not take this right now instead? And we do. We get impatient. We get lazy. We don't want to wait. We don't have to work for it. We don't have to try. We take the easy ways out. We try to get the self-gratification of getting things right now instead of waiting on God, instead of being patient. Instead of holding out for something bigger and better, we settle for something small and mediocre. And for what? So we can have just a little bit of happiness right away instead of something huge and incredible. That's why we have so many problems. That's why marriages fail. That's why everything is just so temporary in this world, it seems like, because there is no reason for people to hang on and to hold out for something better when Satan says, hey, I can give you all this right now. All you have to do is settle. All you have to do is worship somebody that doesn't matter, that doesn't do stuff that isn't who they say they are. So my thought for you guys, my prayer, my request, my challenge is to wait on God. Whatever it is you guys are going through, whatever in the middle of, whatever you feel like you need right now, wait for God to provide it. Don't settle for something small. Don't settle for something measly when you can have absolutely great and wonderful and incredible things. If that's something you guys have a question about, there's everything we can do for you. Please feel free to reach out. We're always here for you guys. If you need anything, just anything at all, like I said, we're always here. Hope you guys have an awesome, incredible rest of your week. May you be blessed to be blessing those around you. I love you guys, and I'll catch you next time.